Hello and welcome to Kickstarter Talk, the only show that gives you the amazing indie comic book Kickstarters that you should be backing in a format where you guys get to see the trailers. This is our 21st issue. It's week 21. We fly with Lilly into war, meet the Sword Maidens, and play cat and mouse with the new sidekick. We're going to go over what all that means. My name is Mr. Anderson, and I am the voice of indie advocates. And you can always find this amazing list of all these great Kickstarters by just going to either Kickstarters right there or even in This Week in Indie. We're just going to quickly go over all the things that we'll be covering. But before we do that, I just want to take a quick moment to acknowledge two important parts of this program that we actually probably should add into that list. Remember, first, it only takes $1 to support a Kickstarter. That's right. $1 can show support, attract attention, help fund projects, support new creators, and create new worlds, and support regular, normal, everyday creators too, not just new creators. Kickstarter for the Independent Creator, second edition, a practical and informative guide to crowdfunding, is now available for you on Amazon. Don't wait to make the best Kickstarter you can. Get help from Madeline Holly Rising of Boston Metaphysical Society fame. Now we'll go down this list just to go over exactly what we're going to be seeing today. We're going to talk about White Lily, The Gentleman, Superscript, Cat and Mouse, The Power Knights, Going West or Go West, Sword Maidens, which is adult only, so put the kids to bed for that one, Walls, Galaxia #1, Bobby Fulton and the Fantasticks, Terracano, The Phantom Hawk, Elk Mountain, The Crossing, Cthulhu Kids, Ruby and the Warriors of Dion, Reign of Cthulhu, Project Axis, and The Fist. So let's dive right in and start the show off right now by learning more about White Lily, Issue 2, World War II comic book miniseries. It's issue 2 of 5. Our heroine enters the first combat, and Lily becomes the first woman in history to score a confirmed kill.
The Germans possess all points of Stalingrad west of the Volga River. Many of our male fighter squadrons have been completely eliminated. Comrade Stalin stated, "Not one step back." Combat missions begin this afternoon.
Hello, my name is Preston Poulter, and I'm telling the true story of the two deadliest female fighter pilots in history.
Lieutenant Leclerc, I have here an official confirmation of your claim of shooting down a Junker 88. This makes you the first woman fighter pilot in world history to shoot down an enemy plane.
In this exciting issue, our heroines, Lily Litviak and Katya Budanova, will take to the skies, joining the 415th Fighter Squadron.
You picked a flower for me.
They grow here in the snow. Since you had such success in the air the last time, I thought we could use the luck. Also, we need to give our preferred call signs to Captain Baranov. Do you have any thoughts for what you would like yours to be?
Thrown into their first real battle, together, they must fight for the skies of Stalingrad. When I talk about these women to others, I find that very few people have ever heard of them before. They have accomplished so much, yet their story remains largely unknown. That's why we are asking for your support to help get our second issue to print. This comic is already complete, having been penciled by the late Laval Davis, inked by Diana Greenhalgh, colored by Blonde, and lettered by Troy Peters of A Larger World Studios. Our upper tier backers will enjoy the original pencilings from the first issue done by Laval, as well as the ink of the variant cover of issue 2. I have been pursuing this story for several years because I feel like it needs to be told. I am inspired by these women and their accomplishments, and I hope you will help us spread their story.
Isn't that so cool how indie comics can bring you history and entertainment in the same breath? I know you guys are impressed. I know I'm impressed. And you guys should be so impressed that you're going to head over to Kickstarter today and you're going to back this amazing project. Right? Right, guys? We're going to move on to our next amazing project, The Gentleman #1, Darkness of the Void. Oliver Solomon, a.k.a. The Gentleman, finds his next case to be a tale of Lovecraftian horror.
I watch it all escape their eyes. All hope, all standing memories of the good times evaporate from their faces. The lines and lifeless eyes now show a case of myriad of hurt, pain, heartbreak. This is the portrait I've grown accustomed to. It still breaks my own heart to read those changed faces. Not being desensitized at least helps me feel human still. Time heals all wounds, they say. But what exactly do they know? They seem to never take into account the ripple effects that happen. And not everyone is built to bounce back so quickly, unfortunately. Some people, instead of healing, find means to do something stupid.
Hi, my name is Greg Anderson Elise, and I am the writer of The Gentleman, Darkness of the Void. Spinning off from Evolu Zion's SFC Comics line, Darkness of the Void follows the character of the gentleman Oliver Solomon, a Lovecraftian-inspired horror noir story about the haunting ghosts from the past, along with the ghosts from the forthcoming future. In his 4-part miniseries, the gentleman finds himself drawn to a mysterious woman seeking life and protection from a mysterious being of possibly supernatural origins. Unfortunately, to protect her, Oliver must succumb to his special abilities, a hereditary curse that uses his body as a key and vessel to the void, an ancient evil with the means to destroy all life as we know it. This journey will find Oliver struggling with his past, his curse, and the connection to the void. Can this mysterious woman help him? Can she be trusted? What is her connection to Oliver and the void itself? I'm deeply honored to have been approached by creator Marcel Dupree. I find this character to be both a challenge and refreshing for me to write and develop, especially with the prospect of exploring and tackling Black characters in such a horror noir fantasy setting. With art by Massimiliano Veltri and Marco Pagnota. On behalf of the whole team, we at Evolu Zion Publishing hope that you're willing to take this dark and surreal journey with us. Thank you.
I don't know if that was a good time for Cracker to bark or a bad time for Cracker to bark. I apologize for the dog interruption. We're going to move on to Superscript. Just give some credit right there. I actually thought the video was done before I start scrolling. Okay, so like I said, Superscript, a comic book writer's sidekick. The first text editor built solely for writing comic books and graphic novels. Writers, meet your new sidekick.
Ready? Time. Writers today have dozens of text editors to choose from, but none of them really make it easier to write for comic books. When I began writing comics, I wanted a text editor that would take care of the tedious parts of writing to let me focus on my characters and story. Superscript is just that. Superscript formats and numbers page and panel headings for you as you type, even recalculating the numbers automatically when you go back to edit. Superscript also tallies up your spoken word count per page, panel, and bubble. It auto-completes your fictional character names, and unlike web-based text editors, Superscript allows you to keep control over your own documents, save and share however you want. But we're not quite there yet. We need your help to pay for QA testing, website development, licensing, distribution services, drawing pie charts, more testing, and then more development.
Now, for writers, this is a game changer. This is something that can make your life easier and Make your formatting woes go away. I know you're excited. I know I'm excited about it because I already backed it. Now I'm in. Act now. Time is running out on these Kickstarters right here. Cat and Mouse as well. These will all be done before the month's over, so don't wait. Cat and Mouse #1, the first issue, the first of a 4-issue miniseries set in the city of New Orleans, an action, crime, drama, comic miniseries. It's Cat and Mouse.
Hi, and welcome to the Kickstarter for Cat and Mouse #1. My name is Roland Mann, and I'm the writer for the comic. Cat and Mouse #1 is the first of a 4-issue miniseries. The first issue contains 22 pages of story and art. And while you can read more about the story below, in a nutshell, this is a crime action drama with a smattering of superheroics tossed in. It deals with an issue that's important to me, and that is the issue of human trafficking and human slavery. It's an epidemic that is often overlooked and is happening right under our noses. And while the theme is an adult one, the book is a general audience book, as we believe this is the kind of story that should be accessible to readers of any age. And we've assembled a rockstar creative team too, at least on the art side. As a fun little piece of trivia, all 4 of us are Malibu Comics alum. In fact, that's how I know Dean Zachary, Mark Kalberg, and Kevin Gallagly. Collectively, we've got over 100 years of experience in our respective skills, but we're not as old as that makes us sound. If you don't remember Malibu, you'll have to look them up, but they're the company that originally published Men in Black. And if Cat and Mouse sounds familiar to you, yep, A Different Story was published in the late 80s and the early 90s by EF Graphics, and then by Malibu's Aircell. The Aircell series lasted for 18 issues and was in the Comic Shop News Top 10 Black and White comics for about half the run. Anyway, thank you for checking us out. There are lots of pledge levels, a little something for everyone. Pledge if you can. Share the heck out of this regardless. We can't do this without your help. Thanks a lot.
I think Roland Mann's a little modest there. I believe that he is a rock star too. Speaking of rock stars, the Power Knights #4, once known as the Tyrants of the Galaxy, the Power Knights are inspired by 2 brothers to become heroes on Earth. Excuse me.
Hello, my name is Keith Jones. I am the owner of Kid Comics. I'm also the creator of the Power Knights. The Power Knights is something that I created, drew, written, and colored. I also had help from Chris Ward, a co-writer and friend of mine. And we are working on issue 4, and that's what this Kickstarter is for. And we're hoping for your support. Please check out our Kickstarter below, and you'll see the details of the story and all the awards that we're offering. I want to keep this short by just saying that the Power Knights, I hope, inspires you to face your challenges in life like it inspired myself. And because this whole journey of making this comic has taken me in places I've never been, meeting folks I've never met, obviously, running into different cultures, meeting different types of people. And it's been a real eye-opening experience for me. And I put a lot of that experience in the book, including a lot of personal things I've dealt with in my life. So I hope that when you read the book that you'll find inspiration in it, and that you'll continue to be a fan of the series and come back for future issues. Once again, my name is Keith Jones. I appreciate your support. Please get into the Kickstarter, find out what this whole journey is about, and let's do this. Thank you very much.
I like that. I like how passion comes off of that, man. Great guy, great creator. I mean, inspiring guy. I definitely am a fan of following him on social media. Definitely one of the best I know in indie comics. So please support him today. This is new to me. All right. This is sort of Maidens. I haven't watched it yet. It was put for us to share, and here we go. I give the warning, adults only. Turn away. So that looks kind of interesting. I mean, it's obviously not going to be for everyone. Remember to send the hate mail to writtensins@yahoo.com. But I mean, I kind of find a value in it, and I find it entertaining. It's not going to be for everyone, but not every comic book has to be for everyone. Let's stop trying to make every comic book the same comic book, huh? Maidens, by the way, is adults only. It's swords and sorcery in the barbarian age, the exotic and erotic adventures of sword maidens. Go West, the collected edition, a 96-page graphic novel by Garrett Gunn. Let's check it out. And did you guys catch it? I hope you didn't blink. There's not a lot there, unfortunately. So we're going to move on to Wolves, A Tale of Medieval Horror. Wolves is a historical fiction horror story set in the era of the Black Plague. Crackers. Wolves, the graphic novel.
In my nightmares, I am alone, and God has abandoned me. But when I wake, it is much worse. The world outside is desolation. It is a world punished for having forgotten the word of God. I have come to know this age by the sadness of it. I have come to know myself by struggling with the sins it inspires. Just as this plague has gripped tightly the people of this land in its fist, so has its curse fallen on my heart and blackened my soul, which I have cultivated as pure, pointed upwards to the kingdom of heaven. Pure, I no longer am. Europe is shadowed by clouds of smoke from the burning dead, and ashes rain upon those left alive. The Black Plague has vanquished over half of our people. We, the living, fearfully cling to our faith, believing the blight in the land to be punishment for our transgressions. wages of sin are death, and death is what we find in common. Death is the language of God and the music of his voice. The people flock to reliquaries, where pieces of our saints are held in gilded reverence. They pay their penance in the form of monetary donations, giving what little they have to further the only institution which still thrives in these broken lands. The church. I make my own penitence, cloistered behind these walls, cut off from the world in an effort to contemplate the nature of God and atone for my sins. In the shadows of my seclusion, I wait for salvation, but my visions of the God that I serve are changing. I am beginning to understand that I am not alone.
Walls will be a new graphic novel from the mind of Zachary Anderson of Dark Elf Designs, captured in images by Joshua Mitchell Taylor of Gigglemania Studios. This story will be a foray into one of the darkest times in human history, focusing on an original, complicated central character. In this thrilling and demon-haunted world, even the brightest spark of hope is only a shadowed glimmer on the tooth of a predator.
Kind of intense, right? That's kind of cool. I like that. I like when something sometimes takes you off your comfort zone, as it were. We're gonna check out. Speaking of being uncomfortable, Galaxia, #1 freaker god. Galaxia's Fallout meets Borderlands in a world 100% made of snow, ice, and weirdos. Be ready to get your heart frozen.
Hi everyone, my name is Kieran Roditelli. I'm the creator and writer of Blashel. Blashel is a book I've been working on for over a year with the artist Rob Canyon. Blashel is a gift I'm making to a young version of myself. The 10 years old guy that was playing hours and hours to Borderlands games and Fallout games inside while the Quebec winter was smashing outside. This Kickstarter campaign is to help that kid dream to come alive. Thank you so much for being on the Kickstarter campaign and being interested or just curious about that project. It's really appreciated. And thank you so much for watching this video. And if you have a question or anything, please message me on Kickstarter, go on Facebook or anywhere. Ask me anything about the project. Thank you so much for passing by this Kickstarter campaign. You can find all the rewards and information under this video. Thank you so much again. It's really appreciated. Have a nice day.
All right. I mean, how cool is that? Using something that was like boredom in your childhood to inspire a comic book. How awesome is that? Speaking of awesome, check out the awesome Bobby Fulton and the Fantasticks. I should have said Fantasticks. I ruined it with awesome. 80s wrestling royalty. Remember pro wrestling in the 1980s? The hair, the flashy costumes, the swagger. No tag team personified it. Messed me in the news too. It all like the Fantasticks. And I know personified. For some reason, it's getting me. It's making me tap out.
The Fantasticks are coming down. They might be the underdogs going in, brother, but we'll be walking out proud with $1 million stacked high. Thanks, but $1 million, you know, Tom, imagine what you could do to us. Us being only about 5'10" ourselves, I bet it could go clear to the ceiling, brother. I could just stack that up for the fun and just see how high it went.
Hey, folks, this is Bobby Fulton of the Fantasticks, and I'm excited about what John Crowther and all the great folks are doing concerning a comic book. Bobby Fulton of the Fantasticks, I hope you support it. I can't wait to see it out there. It's wonderful.
The Fantasticks were Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers, one of the premier tag teams in wrestling from 1984 to 2007. Their feuds with the Sheep Herders and the Midnight Express in the 1980s and 90s are the stuff of wrestling legend and led to many tag team titles, including the NWA United States Tag Team belts, and the WCWA Tag Team Championship. Now, the story of Bobby Fulton and the Fantastic comes to Squared Circle Comics, to be told in the high style you come to expect from our comics based on Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Nikolai Volkov, and more. This 24-page comic is the first of 3 planned issues written by wrestling historian John Crowther, illustrated by Javier Lugo, and colored by Blake Wilkie. We need you to make the Fantasticks comic book biography a reality. And in return for your support, you choose from a cornucopia of fantastic memorabilia. The comic is available with 3 different covers, one exclusive to this Kickstarter campaign, and another including an original art sketch by Javier Lugo. Of course, Bobby Fulton is also autographing a limited supply of comics, trading cards, magazines, and DVDs for our backers. You can even have yourself drawn into issue 2 of the series, our own original art from the comic, including each of these covers. Join us in creating a fitting tribute to the legacy of Bobby Fulton and the Fantasticks, won't you?
So I know if you're a 1980s fan, you're in on this. Now, this one's weird. This is Frank James Bailey bringing us. I did a T-shirt campaign for my first book back in 2016, and it went over pretty well, so I thought I would try it again. And for the funding of my first Terror Cone comic book. So let's check this out. Let's see what's going on.
Hello, how are you? My name is Frank James Bailey. I am a voice actor and a writer. I've written 3 books: Turkana Book 1, Our New Home, Turkana Book 2, Dr. Kuhn the Banana Gun, and Turkana Book 3, Trinity Traps. They're available on Amazon.com and Turkana.com as well. My next adventure is a comic book. Now, the only problem is I'm not an artist, I'm a writer, so I have to hire artists to make the pages and draw the pictures. Well, this is where you guys come in. Sort of. I know I have a lot of fans who like Turkana already. I've written 3 books, and the Turkana fan club on Facebook has well over 3,000 people who like the page or are members of the fan club. And I've reached a lot of people, and people are drawing Turkana as well. So hopefully, people will support me in trying to raise money so I can pay my artist and make the T-shirt. Make the comic book, which will be out sometime in 2019. That's the goal. Here's how the T-shirt campaign works. I'm starting T-shirts off at $20 each. Now, if they were any lower, like $15, I'd have to sell at least 50 of them to actually have them make the T-shirt, because you use your credit card and you buy the T-shirt, but none of it is charged until the campaign is over with. And when the campaign is over with, I have to sell a certain amount of them to meet their deadline or their criteria, their borderline. And if I meet that number, then they print off all the T-shirts, and everything after that is money that I make. So if I sell at least 25 T-shirts, then they'll make all the T-shirts in 30 days. I'm hoping to sell a lot more than just 25, because the more money I raise, the better I can make this comic book look. So I really need your help. This way you get a good-looking, cool Turkana T-shirt, and I get to raise money to help fund my comic book of Turkana. So I'd really appreciate it if you were to check out the T-shirt here, buy a T-shirt, and help me fund the next Turkana comic book. Thanks a lot for watching my video, and thanks a lot for buying a T-shirt. Bye-bye.
That's an interesting approach to crowdfunding. I've never seen it before. Speaking of something interesting, here's the Phantom Hawk returns. The Phantom Hawk adventure continues in the new ongoing series with Apogee Comics.
All right, afternoon, everybody. It's today's mission briefing. It's today's date. Time is 1930 hours. All right, guys. We just received actionable intel on target 08011978. Master Sergeant Maximilian Nicholas Malone, Communications Sergeant, 5th Special Forces Group, former member of ODA 590. We know this guy. We've heard of him. The guy's a legend. For the last few months, there's been reports of an aggressive vigilante in Crestview City, and he's been calling himself the Phantom Hawk. So far, he's been knocking over pharmaceutical companies, mob bosses, and drug dealers. The subject now seems to be content just dealing out a little street justice. No big deal, right? Something we all wish we could do. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. About 4 weeks ago, we received a blood sample. It was sent to a forensics lab in connection with this Phantom Hawk character. Now, their search didn't yield any results, but it ended up in our database. When we intercepted the DNA pattern, we were able to figure out who it is. This blood belongs to Master Sergeant Malone. Now, prior to this, Master Sergeant Malone was believed to be killed in a terrorist attack outside Crestview City when a secret CIA facility was blowing all to hell. And some government tech was stolen prior to the explosion. So we have it on good authority that not only is Master Sergeant Malone alive and well, but he may have a connection to, if not be, this Phantom Hawk character. Now, it's just a warning letter. As more information becomes available and DC gives us the green light to go get this guy, we will interdict Master Sergeant Malone and recover any stolen government tech in association with this target. But for right now, I want you guys to get some rest, refit, and prepare to move out of 0900. This is Nick Garber, president of Apogee Comics and the creator of Phantom Hawk. I'm so pleased to be launching this project today. I created Phantom Hawk about 25 years ago and started making comics about him in 2011. It has been a long road filled with excitement as I've shared this story with all of you. Now we get to launch Phantom Hawk in the Apogee Comics universe. With a story by Ray Merrick III and drawn by Dino Agor with colors by the fabulous DC Alonso, who's done color work on the Crimson Guardians and War Drums. This story is a continuation of the original series as we move Phantom Hawk further into the Apogee universe with an introduction of his most lethal villain to date, Blood Raven. In this issue, you will see Phantom Hawk faced with challenges never before encountered. He no longer has the public trust. The cops no longer see him on their side. And there is blood in the water, so to speak. This will be a trying time for Phantom Hawk as he navigates through this world of deception and setup. So here we are with the Kickstarter. This is where we need your help as backers. Every cent made during this campaign will go towards production and distribution of this comic. We have offered some fantastic rewards for this campaign, including one-of-a-kind Phantom Hawk action figure, as well as pieces of original art from the first 5-issue arc. So if you're a new fan of Apogee or an old fan of Phantom Hawk, the story provides captivating storytelling that not only entices new readers, but offers more to the long-running fans for the series. And I hope we here at Apogee can count on your support and continued attention. This is Nick Garber of Apogee Comics, creator of Phantom Hawk, hoping that you will back this project. And there's many more projects to come.
Gotta admit, that was a cool video, right? You guys are kind of digging that, right? Speaking something to dig, let's dig into Elk Mountain.
Hey everybody, my name is Jordan Clark. I am the writer and co-creator of Elk Mountain. If you do know me, you probably know me from Bitch Planet Triple Feature. I have a story in there about the watches and the dating. But I do want to tell you a little bit about my new project and kind of give you some reasons why you should check it out and possibly give us some money. So Elk Mountain is a story that basically is surrounded by the question of heroes and community. So what is a hero's responsibility to the communities that they defend, and what is that community's responsibility to them? Is it wise to put so much stock into one person, no matter how powerful or all-knowing they might be? Is it wise to expect somebody to be there all the time, to protect you all the time, to save you all the time? And as a community, what should we do? Even though we have this person, what are our responsibilities to ourselves and to them? So the story is about a hero named Valor, who kind of follows Superman's origin slightly. Superman is technically an immigrant. He's from another planet. Our hero is from Panama. His parents kind of flee during the height of all the Noriega stuff. They come to America trying to give themselves and their unborn child a better life. Valor is born here, but his parents have to flee and go back to South America, so he's kind of left behind and adopted and raised by these people in the small town. As he develops and grows, he gets these powers similar to Superman. He's strong, he's fast, he can fly. He's not invulnerable. I mean, if you hit him enough, it's gonna hurt. But he does eventually become this big time superhero. But unlike Superman, he decides to stay in the small town that he grew up in. So they kind of form this almost symbiotic relationship. I mean, he is responsible for a lot of the tourism and the income into the small town. So they are dependent on him in more ways than just him protecting them. But something happens that I don't give away that kind of takes him out of the picture for longer than he's ever been. I mean, he's gone to space before. He's gone to the bottom of the ocean before. Been gone about a week, 2 weeks, but he usually comes back. But this time he's gone for a long time, long enough that people start to think that he might be dead. And this brings all kinds of stuff onto the town, but it also kind of raises people's questions in people's minds about what was he really ever doing there? Maybe he didn't belong there. Maybe he was something a little bit more sinister and kind of playing on the fears that people do have about immigrants in real life, and kind of how, even though people have lived next to each other for 10 years, have worked with each other for a long time, now with a lot of the fear mongering that's going on, people are giving just decent, everyday, hardworking people who are trying to immigrate into this country suspicious looks, dirty looks, and worse. So, taking that idea and transposing it onto this larger kind of, Superman-esque figure, I think is a really interesting thing that we dig into here. And hopefully it's something that you will enjoy. I'm joined on the project by Vince Underwood on art, Brittany Peer on colors, who has done stuff for Boom Studios. She did Misfit City. She did some Power Ranger stuff. And on letters, the now Eisner nominated Hassan Otune Elahu, who you might know from stuff like Strip Panel Naked, Panel by Panel, and he'll do lettering Shanghai Red coming out from Image Comics later in the year. So we've got a great creative team. They're doing some amazing work. I'm very lucky and humbled to be working with such talented people. But on that end, instead of doing rewards that are more kind of just sticker based and pin based, I mean, we have some of that stuff, but we really wanted to keep it focused on the book. So you'll see a lot of the rewards that we're doing are more along the lines of extra back matter for the book, looking into the creative process of each member of the team, and kind of showing you, how I wrote the story, how Vince drew the story, how Brittany colored the story, how Haas lettered the story, and how all of those things kind of came together to create the final product, as well as kind of giving you a look at each of those processes in a way that will allow you, if you're somebody who's interested in making comics, to kind of get an inside look at how different people do what they do. So if you want to learn how to color, in what Brittany does, she'll kind of show you how, she does what she does, and how you can apply that to what you want to do, and on down the line. So we're very excited about this project. I think everybody is feeling a good energy, and hopefully that energy is going on to you. Hopefully you see the passion behind this project, and hopefully you decide that you'd like to help us bring it to life. So that's Elk Mountain. Please scroll down below, check it out, and hopefully you like it. Hopefully you tell somebody about it. Thank you.
You dig that, man. I'm a big, just love that. Love the passion. Love the team. So cool. You know what would also be cool? Having a dead goth girlfriend. At least for me. Maybe I'm weird. Let's check out Crossing 2 and 3, a new series in the paranormal series. An annoying goth princess haunts the rookie train conductor who ran her over. Paranormal couples counseling, anyone? Let's check out The Crossing.
Crossing will be a 6-issue miniseries, and we're back on Kickstarter to print and distribute issues 2 and 3. That's right, this is a double-sized campaign to fund not just 1, but the next 2 issues. Despite some mature, heavy-hitting themes, Crossing is a comedy about 2 people who wouldn't like each other under normal circumstances, much less paranormal. that have to work together if they're ever going to be free of each other. In the first issue, MC and Nina have a meet cute with a locomotive, and it's a roller coaster of pain until the very end. In the next issues, we meet a support group of ghosts and hosts in the same predicament. Through it all, there's a murder mystery still to be solved, and these next issues are all about what's going on behind the scenes. Each comic is full color and will be published digitally and in print. Production is finished, and a print run of 500 copies of each is guaranteed when we hit 100% funded. Script for the entire series is complete, and we'll be rolling straight into issue 4 after San Diego Comic-Con this July. My name is Anika Jen. I'm the writer and creator of Crossing, Azteca, Angel with the Bullet, and the House of Montresor. Alex Cormack is an illustrator living in Tinsboro, Mass. He's worked with many publishers, such as Image Comics, IDW, Comics Tribe, Bliss on Tap, and Red Style Media. Mark Mulaney is an Emmy-nominated animator and artist from Boston, Massachusetts. This Kickstarter campaign gets us to the halfway point in the series, but we need you to get us to the other side.
That's kind of cool, right? You'll have to excuse me. I have no idea why my voice is going out of me, but I'm kind of digging it. I like goth chicks, so this is kind of the book for me. But if you're into something more kiddie, maybe Cthulhu Kids would be something you like. Hey, advocates, check out Cthulhu Kids.
What would a Lovecraftian school for the naughty offspring of mythos characters look like? Hi there, cultists. I'm comic creator and artist Andrew Pawley. You might know me from my several successful Kickstarters for my comic Galaxia Freaks. Along with writer Peter Duncan, we've created a title for you that mashes up the jubilant anarchy of vintage British kids comics and the existential terror of the infinite universe. Cthulhu Kids is a 32-page comic book full of short stories that will in turn tickle your funny bone and then cast you into the void of existential terror. Join Kid Cthulhu, Dagon Jr., Sydney Shogguth, and the rest of the gang at the Miskatonic Academy for Outer Entities, the most exclusive school in the multiverse for the children of outer gods and elder things. The comic is finished, apart from some spaces for special guest appearances from Kickstarter backers, and all the pledge level products are well prepared. So we've come to Kickstarter to fund printing and distribution. A whole range of cool perks are available for membership of the infamous Kid Cthulhu Mythos Madness Club, exclusive hand-painted models, and even a special collector's box full of sketch covers and variant covers. Thank you in advance for your support and bringing this project to life. With your help, we can spread the madness far and wide. So make sure you join in on the anarchic cosmic terror funnies and pledge today.
So that might have tickled your funny bone, but if you want to play a game, check this out. Get your freak on. Sorry, wrong one. That's actually for Cthulhu Kid. Reign of Cthulhu augmented reality game. Reign of Cthulhu combines t-shirts, mobile devices, and augmented reality into one fun-filled, immersive, Lovecraftian gaming experience, and it looks like it's a new video. See if they
So you find yourself
video.
sitting at your favorite chill spot when a foe walks in. You know they're a rival Reign of Cthulhu faction because of the crest on their shirt. You scan them, player information pops up, the hero they main, user, level, win-loss record, and if they're ready for battle. Challenge them. Once the challenge is accepted, a portal opens up between both players, and a chunk of the Cthulhu sunken city is pulled into our world. The battlefield can be 2 to 6 players in size. You get your first set of cards randomly drawn that represent minions, powers, and equipment, which can be placed on the battlefield. The battle takes place in turns. You and your opponent take territory with your cards, laying the groundwork for the war that lies ahead. The game has just begun, but we're at the end. The world's first native AR multiplayer game will soon be revealed.
So you got to admit, that looks kind of cool, right? I'm hoping that they'd come out wearables like bracelets and stuff as well, because I can't see someone always wearing the same t-shirt or being from Comic-Con so often. I certainly hope that's not what's going to happen. Speaking of hoping that's going to happen, I bet you hope you don't run into the Fist in a dark alley in the 1900s Philadelphia. It's The Fist is a tale of Riley Reese and working class stiff with an affection for vigilante justice.
Hey everyone, this is Brandon Beatros, writer and creator of The Fist, asking you to come out and support issue 2, which should be out sometime in July. If you're not familiar with the project, it is a crime noir vigilante story that takes place in 1918 Philadelphia. We have some really great rewards this time around, some specialties for Philly customers, so please check them out. Some cool clothing lines, hoodies, and things like that. Also, this is an all or nothing project, so if we don't reach our goal, we will not be funded. So please help make that happen, and everything should be out by July. And check out some of our artwork. You can also read issue 1 for free at blackstonecomics.com. So if you've not checked it out yet, please do so. And thank you very much.
So how about that? That's pretty cool, right? I know you dig it. I like the fact that it's centric to his hometown of Philly, as it should be because it's based in Philly. Let's check out Project Axis.
Imagine a man on the brink of creation. Imagine a creator in search of his creation. This summer, Dark Elf Designs invites you to journey into a place and time much like our own. A land full of shadow and betrayal, intrigue and deception. This is the world of Project Axis. Project Axis is a comic book written by Nick Gibson with pencils by Jason Johnson, inks by Kendra Hale, colors by Dexter Lopez, and letters by Francisco Zamora. We're looking to do a full print run in addition to other avenues. With your help, we can do just that. Check out the various award tiers below and consider supporting us. Child needs your help.
So that is our show. We're going to go back over the list real quick for you guys at home who might not have seen the entire list. So we're going to go back to our list on the Kickstarter live. We just talked about The Fist. We saw what happened in the Project Axis. We got to know a little bit more about Game of Cthulhu. We discovered who Ruby and the Warrior. Wait a minute. Did anyone see Ruby and the Warriors?
Hey everyone, this is Brandon
Beatros, Stop. I don't think Ruby was in here. Happens every so often with a coding issue. We missed Ruby, and we're not going to have that, are we? So we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring Ruby onto the show right now and show you Ruby, the Warriors of Dion, an epic fantasy tale about a young mage on a fantasy quest of vengeance. All right, how excellent. Whoop. That got me. How excellent was that? I'm so glad we didn't miss out on that. We're going to go down the list again. We'll start at the top again, and we'll go down like we were doing. Let me clear my throat. All right. We met the Fist in Philadelphia. We talked about Project Access. We made sure to check out the Game of Cthulhu, which was augmented reality brought to life. We didn't miss Ruby and the Warriors because we went back and visited them to make sure they made it to the show. We saw what the Cthulhu Kids were up to. Crazy bunch of kids. We got to see about the crossing and how these two unlikely pair met. We went up to Elk Mountain and saw what there was to see. And we found out that there could be trouble in paradise. We met the Phantom Hawk and found out that he might just be dead or reported dead. The mystery continues. We found out that you can make a t-shirt into a comic book. We saw Bobby Fulton and the Fantasticks come to life in a comic book. We didn't have to freeze our asses off to check out the world of Galaxia, but it certainly gave us a chill. The Walls, A Tale of Medieval Horror, definitely is something that will give me nightmares tonight. Now, what might stop the nightmares was Swords of Maidens. Granted, it's meant for not an all ages environment. As a matter of fact, it's meant for adults only, but sometimes it's good to have a naughty comic book that makes you laugh and maybe makes you other things. Go West. It's a collected edition of 96 pages from the amazingly talented Garrett Gunn. The Power Knights showed us why they deserve to be Earth's heroes. Cat and Mouse, #1. It is brought to us by basically an amazing group of creators from the once known Malibu Comics. Superscript is the program that any writer is going to need if they want to be able to take a shortcut. Or maybe you're a writer who just hates doing certain script things. Well, this is for you. Make sure to check out the $100 reward level for the ability to have a license for life. The Gentleman, we saw why he has been such a gentleman and what he's having to give up to help out a maiden in distress. White Lily, issue #2, we saw some history come to life in comic book form. How amazing is that? And that is the show. We'll revisit this list next week and see what's been added and see what's blasted off the platform. If you have a comic book on Kickstarter that you would like us to help you fund, reach out to us so we can advocate for you at indieadvocates@yahoo.com. My name is Mr. Anderson, and I am the advocating voice for Indie Advocates. Thank you for tuning in to the only video cast that talks about indie comics on Kickstarter, and not just a single one, but many, and with no rhyme or reason to how you get on the show other than reach out and ask. We'll see you next week.